All right, Graybeard here. Boy, let's start out. This is going to be filled with spoilers. If you don't want to, or you can't handle viewing being spoiled, back out. Don't keep going here. Um, so yeah, um, we got another on our list. We actually have 4 of the 10 things we suggested was going to happen. I said there's going to be a Lady Loki. There's a Lady Loki. That's confirmed. I said the goal would be to get rid of the variant timelines. I said that Loki and Mobius would be buddy cops, and that Ravonna Renslayer is going to be on the show. So all those things happened. So we'll say 4 out of 10. Now that I said that, is this Lady Loki? I think that's pretty good for four shows in. There's a whole bunch of things that jumped out at me, and I want to point those out. I kind of think. So first off, I like this show better than the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. I don't know if I like it better than WandaVision. So I liked WandaVision ultimately better than I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier. I basically knew everything that was going to happen in Falcon and Winter Soldier before it happened, and I was disappointed. So I did not foresee some of the things that happened in this show. Yeah, I kind of came up with 10, but even then, like with the Falcon and Winter Soldier, I said, hey, these are the 10 that are going to happen. But I kind of threw a whole bunch into there because, I kind of knew what was going to happen. And this show, to be honest with you, I've been a little bit surprised. So let's go down this list. First, Loki's trapped. We know that Loki's trapped with the TVA. Loki understands that if he takes off, the TVA will just hunt him down, and that they have that much power. And so, he's trapped. Now, when I was in the military, we were supposed to give limited information and always try to find a way to escape and help each other out. Loki's doing that. It's pretty amazing. If you watch it closely, he's always looking for a way out. Last week he was able to slip his collar. He was able to put that collar on his captor, and he's able to use their power against them. He was always looking for more information. So when he went back and looked at his life, that was to find a way out. In this episode, he's been doing that. He's testing all the rules. The lunchroom says don't talk in the lunchroom. No meetings at the lunchroom. And even though there's signs saying to do that, he's breaking those rules. He's trying to get more information. He asked the young lady for, hey, I want all of the stuff from the beginning of time to the end of time. And she's like, oh, you're not authorized for that. Okay, well, what can I be authorized for? And then the little bit of information she gave him, basically on himself, he looked through all of it. He's looking for a way out or a way to control the TVA in some way. What I really liked was when he was doing the hologram stuff with Miss Minutes, Tara Strong. When he was doing that with Miss Minutes, he was testing the boundaries again. So Miss Minutes was out, and so he started trying to hit her. He's asking her, "Are you a recording, or are you artificial intelligence? Are you alive? Are you real?" And she said, "Yeah, something like that." And so then he tried to hit her with the magazine, and she jumps away. Now, if she wasn't solid, she wouldn't if she wasn't like able to feel pain, she wouldn't have moved when he tried to swat her. Also, she taps. You can actually, I have trouble hearing, but I could hear the foot. So she has some physical. She's really there. Yeah, she pops back into the machine, but there's something there. I wonder if I don't know. I kind of wonder if she's somehow more than she seems, a lot more than she seems. The other thing I thought was interesting was she obviously has some type of intelligence, because when she went back into the thing, she gave Loki a failing on that test. She failed him on the test, and she's kind of given retribution. Um, you know, she could be. So here's another deal. In Doctor Who, there was a couple of times where Doctor Who recorded onto television a message, and when whoever was the attendant at the time watched the recording, it seemed like if they would ask a question, the doctor would answer it. And the reason was explained that, hey, I, in the future, know what you're going to ask in the past, so I recorded it. And I know the timing you're going to ask it, so I record it at the time when you ask the question. It's kind of timey-wimey. but yeah, it could be that when he's asking questions, somebody in the future knows that he's going to ask the question in the past and record it so that it will seem as though he's talking to an intelligent being. But I don't know, that her having physical structure, that seems like it's really a person. So it could be an AI, kind of like Vision, or like Ultron, or Jocasta. I don't know. Could be. Let's see. So he's learning all the limits. Another thing he did that was interesting was he. So they close to the end of the show, they go through the hurricane. When he walks into the building, he magically makes the water disappear. He makes the rain disappear off himself. And he tells him, well, it's because I'm not an idiot. I don't want to have squeaky shoes. I want to be able to sneak up on people. Now, it could be that wasn't just a Loki response, and he just automatically did that. But I kind of feel that he was testing to see if he could use magic outside of the TVA, or if they had devices that were stopping him. So Loki's a pretty sneaky sucker, so it could be that he was just, testing the limits and doing it in such a way that they won't notice. One of the predictions I didn't make, and I kind of was on the fence on, and if I had an 11th prediction, it would have been that in Loki, Agent of Asgard. I keep wanting to say Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. because of the show. But in Loki, Agent of Asgard, there was a younger Loki that was kind of put on a path by his mom to redeem himself. But there was somebody else pulling strings, and that was the older Loki. And I think in this show we're going to find an older Loki. So it could be somebody real old, thousands of years old. And so I think we're going to find that there's an older Loki pulling some strings here. I think it's pretty cool how Loki was rather quick to find out how the other Loki was hiding. And how he's and I think his explanation using Mobius's salad sort of works, but really when they go to Pompeii and see the explosion of the volcano there, how he was able to yell at people and say, "Hey, I'm from the future, and this is what's happening. Release the goats." Just go crazy, and ultimately, of course, everybody dies. So it doesn't change the timeline at all. And he wants to push Hulk off the Rainbow Bridge, but and so he was rather quick to figure it out just from reading. I think Mobius was right in bringing Loki into this. I think Mobius would never have figured out how, or it would have been a long time before he figured out how she was doing it. They were awfully close to stopping her from blowing up time, but 1 second too late, guys. We see Lady Loki for the first time. That was some interesting stuff. In the end credits, she was called Sylvie. I don't know if that's the case, but yeah. So Sylvie, after Ragnarok, Asgard in the comic books, not on the show. After Ragnarok in the comic books, Asgard was rebuilt or rematerialized, I guess, in Oklahoma. Why not? And all of the Asgardians, their souls then came into humans. But Enchantress had been killed at some point, and so her soul didn't come back. And Loki, screwing around, so this is how Lady Loki came about, was the body that was supposed to be Thor's love interest, Lady Sif. Loki took that body just to mess with his brother, because why not? That's not odd at all, is it? But it's quite mischievous and very Loki, on point for Loki. Because there wasn't an Enchantress, Loki messed with Sylvie's DNA or something and gave her all the powers of the Enchantress. So it's kind of like there's an Enchantress too, which is Sylvie, but she's not an Asgardian, and but she has all those powers of the Enchantress, which is more mind manipulation. And in the show, at the end credit, when I first watched it, it said it listed her as Sylvie. Now I've rewatched it a couple times and it no longer says that. So I don't know. I don't know if somebody messed up. I don't know what happened there. And I've tried to convince myself that I didn't see that, but I think I did. So it could be that she's the Enchantress and not a Loki variant. Also, it could honestly be that she's Loki's daughter, from the future, or it could be that they kind of jammed Sylvie and Loki together to make Lady Loki. I don't know, not sure, but her powers definitely feel more like the Enchantress. So she touches a person and she telepathically can control them, it seems. Also, she drug information out of the one agent, which I thought was odd. How did the one agent know where the timekeepers are when Mobius still hasn't even talked to him? I don't know. But then also, not only controlling them, but she has obviously enhanced strength. And when she's controlling them, they have enhanced strength. So I don't know if that's simply if this is kind of the experimentation on military where LSD kind of came out, was had an idea of what if we can pump up their certain parts of their brain so that way they don't feel pain and they're hyped up and more apt to do stuff. So if you don't feel pain and you're hyped up, your reactions are, a person who is dusted is significantly stronger than a person that isn't. Now they still die, they still do get physically hurt, they just don't know it at the time. Later on they do. So it could be that that's all it is, but also it could be she's hyping up their power somehow. Then also, while she's doing that, she's able to control her own body. But if you listen, at one point Loki asks a question, but he doesn't move his mouth. Because I have trouble hearing, I kind of noticed that. And I have the the subtitles on. And so him talking, it was in his mind, and it's kind of an echoey sound. And so it definitely is. She's psychically or telepathically reading his mind, and she answers him. So I don't know. It could be that she's Lady Loki, and that they kind of made a point of saying that, hey, they have different powers, but could be that she's the Enchantress or Enchantress 2. And if that's the case, definitely older Loki's going to show up. Ancient Loki, maybe you call him. I kind of like that she has a broken horn there. That's a lot like that younger Loki from the Agents of Asgard. He had a broken horn on his crown too. Let's see. There was a couple other things. One of the things I liked was the Renslayer and Mobius interaction. They seem to have a more friendly, more of a friendly kind of relationship. I don't know if they're boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. but they do seem to be friendly outside of work. Um, so Mobius in the comics is a clone. There's lots of Mobiuses, hundreds, thousands. So when he put his cup on her desk and it had a ring, and there were more rings, and she put it, she was kind of upset about it, and he's like, yeah, but there were already rings there. She was like, well, because you put them there. It could be that there are many clones of him, and the reason she has other gifts and stuff like that are from Mobius, just other renditions of Mobius. That's why. But I do believe that we're going to see Kang. I think that we're going to find out Kang's the one giving her stuff. So, definitely in the comics, she is Kang's love interest. They're whatever. They're married or girlfriend boyfriend. At one point, she's running his empire, and so could be Kang. I think it's interesting that she never said that she has seen the Timekeepers. This could very well be just like the Wizard of Oz, where the great and powerful wizard is controlling everything, but nobody ever really sees him. All they see are manifestations. So it could be that Miss Minutes is the only person interacting with the Timekeepers. It could be the Timekeepers are just King the Conqueror, or Immortus, or whichever version he is. And then Lady Loki blows up the sacred timeline. Just blows it up. Boom. Done. There were a bunch of bombs. I mean, I think I counted over 30 of the things. So, and when they had a scroll on a couple different places, on her desk, on what's her name? I can't think of her name now. Oh my goodness. Ravona's desk. There are some things there. There's some up on above before the guy calls and says somebody blew up the timeline. As they're leaving the door, there's a bunch above them. And if you slow down, if you pause it, you can read them all. There's just everything, just all over the earth, all over the place. There's Titan. There's different places in Asgard or other of the 9 realms. There's Ego, the living planet. So definitely, this probably just changes everything in all of the timeline. So it'll be very interesting. I don't know. And so Loki ends up leaving with Lady Loki. And the implication is that he is off the rails, off the reservation. He's gone. He's no longer with the TVA. I don't think that's the case. So I think he knows the TVA can come getting it at any time. I think he's going to talk with her, but maybe double cross her because he is Loki. So he'll do anything to keep himself there. So I mean, really, he's trying to figure out his angles, right? He'll do whatever's best for Loki, and whatever that is. It may not be best for Lady Loki. It may not be best for TVA. I think he knows the TVA is not such a great place either. It's definitely the bureaucracy of the TVA will end up being the bad guy. It's not going to be Lady Loki. There's lots of Easter eggs, all kinds of clues. Roxxon Corp was in it. Basically, they have a whole town as a huge Costco. Just all kinds of stuff. I'm really liking the show. I look forward to next week. And I think this is really gearing up to being the best of the 3 TV shows so far that Marvel's released. There's only 6 episodes, so we're a third of the way through, right? 2, 4, 6, yeah. I had to do math here. I thought there wouldn't be math. So I mean, I think we've gotten a lot of information. Again, I guess 10 things. I've gotten 4 right, maybe. Sylvie could be Lady Loki, or she could be the Enchantress, or she could be a combination of the two. I think it's probably a combination of two, just kind of they melded them together. All right, guys. See you next week, and I sure hope the next show is just as good as this one. Talk to you all later.